welcome to episode 7. So this is actually my first episode that's going to be with a guest, and I'm really excited for you guys to listen. This is Hassan. Hassan, I actually met him through my partner. He was taking care of her cats for a little bit of time while she was in the States. And once we went back to go get them, I asked him to be my first guest on this podcast. And I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm really honored that he was willing to sit down with me and discuss these things. We got pretty deep, so I'm really looking forward to you guys listening. And yes, enjoy. All right. Well, welcome, Hassan.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So this is going to be just like a very seamless conversation. I'm just going to ask you a couple things, and then we're going to see where it takes us. And yeah, we're going to get pretty deep in here.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want you to be as vulnerable as possible, and then we'll create the space. So we're
Men
good.
cannot be vulnerable.
No, we'll change that. We'll change that today. Okay, well, we know your name is Hassan. I do want you to say where you've lived, how old you are, and I guess where your favorite place that you lived is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I was born in Pakistan.
All right.
Born and raised. And then 2012, 13, I left Pakistan and I went to, first to Dubai, lived there for 6 months, and then I went to China, lived there for six years.
Oh,
then
wow.
I lived in Malaysia for 3 years, and then went back to China.
Okay.
And now in Denmark, and yeah, so it's been 3-4 places. I think favorite place would be, I think it's China. I would say China because I met a lot of people, stayed a lot longer, bit longer there, but it's all about the people. It's not just, I cannot put it because of the place. Yeah, place is wonderful, but it's the connections that you make, and that was very nice. And obviously lots of other things happened, but still China was like a really good place to.
No, it's beautiful. I think it's really important to create like that community wherever you are.
Yeah.
I didn't know you lived in Malaysia for 3 years.
No, 3 months. Sorry.
3 months.
Yeah,
3
yeah,
months.
yeah.
Okay, I misheard.
Yeah.
Well, that's really nice. So let's see about China and creating that community.
Yeah,
what do
yeah.
you think is like the best thing that like facilitated you having that community versus the other places that you lived?
In China, I don't know. It was just comparing to other places, especially comparing to Denmark. It's just a bit different. When I was there, and then because I went to the university there also and did my master's there. So in the university, it's easier to meet other people, because you're students, and then you can do other things. But the expats, they're more open. At least that's what in my experience is. If you make friends with them, or you meet them, once or twice, and then you can, plan other stuff, and then you can meet up sometime later, and it's easier. It just flows easier. As compared to Denmark, it doesn't exist. I feel like I feel like I just hey Charlie.
It's okay. It's our second guest.
So yeah, he. So yeah, it is easier in Denmark. It's just I feel like I'm complaining, but it is how it is.
Of course.
And I think, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out like what's the reason that it was so easier in China and other places, and what's wrong with in Denmark. But I just cannot really
figure it out yet.
I cannot figure it out.
Yeah.
Even the expats here they just do their thing, and like I attend Danish classes, and then people just take classes and just go, and there's no like, oh, let's meet up for study or something. Nothing. So it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I think maybe in China it was like this because there is Chinese culture, and then there's expats. There's a very big difference between Chinese culture and the rest of the world. That's what I feel like. And that's why you know that you're gonna just make friends with expats, so just you cling with each other more than the Chinese, so maybe that's the reason.
Right.
Yeah, but
That's
I'm not
super
sure.
interesting. Yeah, and especially talking about here in Denmark, like
Yeah.
all the different reasons why people aren't as friendly, or as maybe they're super friendly but not as intimate when it comes to friendships and relationships and all those things, because people here are very nice.
Yeah,
you
people
know?
are very nice.
Yeah, super nice, smile in
Yeah.
your face, very polite, all those
Yeah.
things. But I do wonder, like, what's that other part of it that's missing? Because I feel, coming from the United States, I kind of feel the same energy, that it's very hard to create meaningful connections. And for me, I always thought it was about like the work life balance. You know, everybody's working all the time, and everybody's very alone. You know, in United States, there's not really public transportation, so you're always in your car alone, and it doesn't give you that much time to like interact with other people. But here there is public transportation. People party and everything, so I do wonder what it is about this place that
even the Danish people like tell me that they are more open when they are drinking. This drinking culture is a big thing here, and even if somebody was saying to me that they wanted these COVID restrictions to last longer because we don't like people.
Oh, interesting.
And so I was just like, okay, just they don't like people. I don't know. But when they get drunk, it's just they tell you stories about their life, what's happening, and like in my colleagues, I was with them for 6-7 months and I didn't know anything about just their names and what they do, and that's it. Okay, we went to this Christmas dinner, and then everyone got drunk, and then they started telling me about this is my son, he plays football here, and this is my girlfriend, and I was so surprised because 6-7 months nobody talks to you, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is so intimate things, and you're like, and the next day you go to the office and then hey guys, and they're just like, hey,
acting like they didn't tell you your whole life story.
I was like, this is weird. Well, this is how it is.
Yeah, super interesting. Yeah, I don't know too much about Danish culture, but I can see it being part of just kind of the way it is, So, not anything we have to judge, I guess. Okay, well, cool. China's your favorite place.
Yes.
So, let's see. We're going to shift the topic a little bit. We're going to get back to that maybe, about traveling, about living places, about creating community. But my first question for you that's going to kind of like dive deep a little bit is, let's ask this one first, actually. What is one event in your life that you think affected your personality? Yeah, it could be positive, negative, but like a major thing that you think like defined kind of who you are today.
Oh, damn. It's a couple of things I can say.
Yeah, please.
The one thing was when I went back to Pakistan in 20 at the end of 2016, and the idea was that I'm not leaving Pakistan, and my life is there and it was fine and that's how it's supposed to be,
How old were you when you went back?
I was 29.
Okay.
30.
Okay.
30 probably.
Okay.
And it was because in Pakistani culture you have to stay with your family, and I had a job and just stay there, and but something inside of me was just telling me I have to go back to China or somewhere else. I cannot stay here, and it kept on bothering me for like 1.5 years, and then 2018 I took a drastic decision of just leaving Pakistan, and then nobody liked it, nobody supported it. My father, I told him that I'm going. I was quitting my job. I had no job going in China, and I told my father. He was supportive in the beginning. He was like, okay, but my mom didn't talk to me, didn't say bye, anything. So I just left. It was Valentine's Day, I remember.
Valentine's Day, you
14th
left.
February
Wow.
2018.
Wow.
And I left and not knowing where I'm going. I knew that I'm going to Beijing because my
Okay.
friends were there, but I had no idea.
Wow.
And I went there, Beijing, and then got a job in Wuhan and a teaching job. And it was just no, sorry, I went to Changsha first, and it was just it was so many things because people are like my dad's when I came to China, my dad called me like, come back. I'm like, I just
You just got here.
just got here, and I felt so much alive in Beijing. I don't know how to explain that feeling that you could. Maybe people who have been, maybe you guys have been to New York, and then the people say that in New York it is like you feel like you can do something. And to me, it felt like in Beijing that I can achieve so many things, But like back home, everyone would call me like, "Oh, you have abandoned us and this and that." So I was just like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
So that stayed with me for it changed me a lot. Yeah, it was not good. Anything would happen back home, and then they would call me or like that's whatever has happened is because of you have left, and you go like, oh, okay, and all of your day is going well, you go like, oh shit,
Yeah.
now the day should.
Yeah, you can't help but think back at home because of all the things that they've told you about.
Yeah, and then you think that, oh, if I would have been there, then it would have been different. And yeah, and then there are some other details that I cannot share.
Okay,
because
that's okay.
there are other stuff I can share it off.
Off camera, that's okay.
Yeah.
We can do that.
But the second thing that when I was living here, and then I had to live in Changsha, and I knew nobody there, and then start over trying to meet people, and then got a job in Wuhan, and then again knew nobody there, and then started meeting people, and then I think the second part was 2020 pandemic hit, and I think it was a big event for everyone. But I think I was going through a breakup and pandemic. Top of it was a horrible time. So, and then you cannot meet, and you cannot meet anyone. You cannot meet any friends and stuff. And then it's that was difficult. That changed me a lot because I didn't have anyone to talk to. Just I would call my friends, but that was very difficult time.
Yeah.
But
especially going through a breakup during that time. It's a double whammy of 2 times being alone, pandemic, and then the breakup.
Yeah, it's the reason is because I when I got into the relationship, I just put everything it's not a good thing to do, but because I didn't have family friend that close friends, so I put everything in the relationship. My family, she's my friend, she's my family, everything is there. And then it falls apart. Then you cannot go back, and then go back to Pakistan, and then you're like, oh shit, where you go? What am I doing here? And then you feel like everyone that was telling you that you're making a mistake, you're like, yeah.
You're like, yeah, they were right.
Yeah, they were right. Yeah. So it's been was the two the events that have changed me, in a different way. Yeah.
Looking back at I'll go back to the first event that you said, but looking back at the pandemic and all that area, do you think, looking back at it from today, is there, how do you feel about it? Do you think it changed you for the better? Do you think it kind of really affected your mental health negatively, in that we're still trying to recover from that? Or how do you think about it today once you think back at it?
Obviously, when you're going through it, you think this is going to last forever, and that's the part that gets you. You think that I'm gonna be miserable. I don't know, for the, in the future, same like this. But because I've always been into sports, and I did boxing, I played football, and watched anime growing up. And it's just the essence of those things of not giving up is somehow it's inside of me.
Right.
I don't know. I cannot say that. Oh wow, it's just I read this book and I just was nothing. It's just it's there that essence of not giving up is inside of me, and it has been there for me inside of me for a long time, and it's just even if I feel very very bad, I just cannot give up.
That's beautiful.
And I just go like, yeah, terrible. I almost kind of gave up, but it was just no. I just like, okay, I can do this, and then you just start doing it, things, and then you day by day it gets better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is the. Yeah, that kind of really, that whole, the event kind of really shook me, and I didn't know how to process this. But yeah, again, the same point, I just knew that my mentality is like, oh, go to the gym, or start playing football, start doing boxing, and everything's going to be okay. Just keep on doing it.
Just keep on doing
it. And look what, in anime, Naruto did, Naruto never gave up. Or like someone else from...
Yeah.
Just, so it's that thing is, I don't know.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. I feel like it can be very difficult to find that motivation inside of ourselves when we're going through those times. But returning to the things that we know that we like, whether it's playing sports or music or watching anime, all those things, like once we return back to ourselves and be like, okay, let me just, relax, just do things that I, enjoy. And then throughout that, you kind of start finding yourself again. Because I think it's very common that people lose themselves in the relationship because of what you said. They put all of their eggs in one basket and they say this is everything, and then you kind of lose yourself in that process. That's really nice. I'm proud of you.
I'm not proud. I'm just like, because the philosophy of this, like, I have so many things. I think when I get sad, like, everyone gets sad. You get depressed a little, but then I feel like I'm so grateful for so many things. I have a house to live in. I'm chill. I have food. I mean, it's so many things that they're there that we don't look at them. Yes, you definitely get sad, but it's just, at least I'm not someone in the war zone, or
exactly.
I'm just bullets flying.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that just. Like, I'm okay. I'm sad now. Yeah, it will pass, and then but I have so many other things going on. So it's good.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest reminders, man. Just gratitude.
Gratitude.
Gratitude goes crazy lengths.
Exactly. Yeah.
It really does. I do know definitely a lot of times where I felt like, oh, this is, whatever is happening right now, like, this is horrible. I don't know if I'm going to get through this. Like, how do I even get through this? Or it just feels, like, so heavy. And then the simple act of, like, being like, wait, I have feet that are healthy that can take me anywhere I want to go. I have hands that work.
Yes.
I'm healthy. I'm a healthy person. I have the ability. I'm smart. Like, you start kind of just naming all of these things that, like you said, we don't really think about too much.
Exactly.
But it'll get us by in those really hard times.
Yep.
That's really good. That's really good. I like that. Okay. Let's see. So this kind of goes into the last thing we were talking about. Like, when you're not feeling your best, what's something that you do for yourself to kind of feel better?
When I'm not feeling my best, I just remind myself that it's not gonna last forever, this feeling or this thing that's going on right now. It's gonna change, and I've seen that happening in my life with experience, that you feel like this is the end, or this is, oh, I'm not getting anything, I'm not, so this is the end. But it's not the end. It's just, you have to move forward, and then you'll see. And as long as you're trying in anything, and for me, like, gym is therapy, kind of. So I go to gym and stay healthy, and gratitude, as you said, and those things keep me moving forward, and just not dwelling too much on this feeling. They're not prolonging that feeling for a longer time. Yeah, I'm sad. Yeah, it should have gone like this. Should have gone like this. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad. I feel it, but you know, another day, another dollar. You know?
Yeah.
You just, you know, wrong expression.
No, it's exactly what.
But
it
you
was
just
meant
like
to
keep
be.
on moving forward, you know, and
Yeah.
just you go like, yeah, everything is gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds very cliche, but it is.
But it is what it is.
It
Yeah.
is how it is, you know.
Yeah.
But you cannot. Yeah, always everyone goes through it, through this stuff every day. That you feel like something goes wrong and then you're like, oh shit, I'm not getting this, or this didn't happen accordingly. But something else will come. You just have to see what's gonna come. Because if you're just gonna be stuck there and not do anything, or not, it's not I'm saying that do something different or something. Just keep moving forward, and then something will come.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think that's one of my biggest struggles. If like when I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling some type of like heavy emotion, I'll sit in it and I'll think about how I'm feeling, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, what if it went this way, or I could have done this to, you know, make it go differently, and kind of like beat yourself up and being stuck in that emotion. And I find it very hard to move past it, you know, like mentally move past it, because I can do something else, or, you know, just kind of like distract myself, but it's more of a distraction rather than healthily being like, okay, this is what I'm feeling, this is what's happening right now, okay, I'm okay with that, and then moving on. I'm just usually like, all right, let's not worry about that, and you know, distract myself. So I think that's something that I can learn from you.
The feelings are okay. It's okay to be like, you know, you feel sad right now, but just prolonging it, or just, in my opinion, prolonging it or staying too much in that feeling. It's your feelings are what they call it, important or something. And then it's but it's just, you cannot stay too much in that sad state, because it's not giving you anything. Why I'm just feeling sad all like at, I felt sad. It's bad. Yes, okay, but I have to, you know, just do something now to like move forward, or do something. I have something to do, and then just do it, and then we'll see what will happen next.
I'm gonna learn something from that. That's very nice. That's very, very nice. Let's see. I actually wanted to go back to when you said that you moved out of Pakistan for the first time. How old were you when you moved out?
2012. So I was 27 when, in 27, 28 when I moved.
The very first time.
Very first time, 2013, yes.
To Dubai.
Yes.
Okay. What was the reason you chose Dubai first from Pakistan?
My friends were there.
Okay.
My friends were there. Most of my friends, my childhood friends, they live in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi. So went there for to look for a job 6 months. It's too hot there.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So it's just felt like it's just Pakistan, and there are lots of Pakistanis and Indians, and but yeah, just, and then my one friend was in China. He was doing his masters, and he said, it's, you know, come here, it's very chill, do your masters. And I said okay, and then I applied and got the scholarship. So and then there.
Good. What'd you get your masters in?
Engineering. Communication and digital design. Yes.
Oh, okay. Nice. Do you work in that today?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
In a US based company.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah, engineer. Like wanted to be something else, but when you're born in Pakistan, either you're an engineer, or a doctor, or something else. You know? It's just like the Asian parenting style. You know, it's just if you're very good at studies, you're a doctor. If you're not so great but also good, then you're an engineer. If you are not both, then maybe lawyer, and then maybe MBA something. but other than that, you're a failure.
Yeah.
So that's how it is there. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I think a lot of just immigrant mindset, just
Yeah,
definitely like global South mindset.
Yeah.
Because I know definitely being from Venezuela, my
Mhm.
parents had the same mindset of like, oh well, you have to be a professional. That's always what they say. They never really said about like what specific line of work.
Mhm.
They always said you have to be a professional. You have to have your profession, whatever that may be,
Yeah.
and stick to that and work in that for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
kind of like that structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really hard. About your parents' reaction when you were leaving. You were 27, so at what age?
For the first time or
for the first time?
First time, yeah.
So were they okay with you leaving the first time?
Yeah, first time it was because I'm looking for a job and stuff.
And you went to go get your degree, so it was more
degree, so it's
normalized.
fine. Yeah, he's gonna come back after the degree, and then everything is gonna be here in Pakistan, and so that's fine.
Yeah.
So the plan was to do the masters and come back to Pakistan and work. So that was the plan.
Wow.
But I didn't
do
that.
That's good. I'm happy that you didn't stick to the plan.
I don't know. But
Yeah. Okay. Well, tell me about then Pakistan. Tell me about like growing up, like where you lived in Pakistan. Like what was one of the biggest things that you guys did as like maybe family, or just something that you remember like a lot about your childhood in Pakistan?
So I used to live in Islamabad, but there's a small town close to Islamabad. There's a military town.
Okay.
So my father used to work in the military, and so we grew up there. And it's a military town, so everything is like very safe. Schools are nice. Everything is, you have so many facilities, and and just growing up in Pakistan, it's just it's nice. There's a lot of family. So my grandparents, they used to live in other cities. So we used to live in this town, just with dad, mom, and it was just like a normal childhood like everyone in Pakistan had. Just going to school, just the grades have to be better, and you're just focusing on the grades all the time, and you like. I remember one time my grades were not good, and it's like what my mom was like, what her friends will say, or what the community will talk about this and then you're like oh shit, I have to and then you're like studying and you feel bad and and then obviously I was from the young age, because I was Pakistan cricket is very popular, so I was playing cricket, very much into it. Just whenever I would get the time, I would just play cricket.
Okay, that's sweet.
And football came later.
Okay.
But and then just into sports. But at that time, it didn't click to me what I wanted to do. Because in Pakistan, and I grew up on lots of American culture, like watching American movies and lots of American culture, and watching the high school in America and the TV shows and the movies, and they have this math group and then chess club and photography club. I'm like, what are they doing?
I want to go to that school.
I'm like, they have the sports guys. They are playing football. They are playing lacrosse and all this stuff, and our school is just studying.
Just cricket.
Just studying. There is nothing, no sports in school, and you're just studying. You just want to, I want to play something. No. You want to look at your grades. And I'm like, I want to be there. Like I could have like so many things, but because everyone around you is doing the same things, so you think like, maybe if you do something different, you feel like you're the wrong one, because everyone around you is following the same thing, and you feel like I've made a mistake.
Wow.
Everyone look at and your parents give you example. Look at this guy from your cousin or your neighbor. He has this good grades, and you should be. And then you're like, it's me.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I'm gonna study, and then there's no counseling in the schools, career counseling. So you don't know what do you want to do in your life, and you just you just follow what other people are doing. So I was a bit above average in studies. So my dad, I remember my dad applied for me for engineering universities.
Oh, he did the application for you.
And then
I
would just like go and take the tests for the engineering universities, and then I go like, I passed. Okay, I got nice. I just go to this university.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, yeah. And just because everyone, it's just I cannot explain because everyone is doing the same thing. So you just, even if you question yourself, you feel like
no, it's not possible to do anything else.
Keep on doing. And my friend was also he lives in Chicago right now. He's like a good like a specialized doctor. So he was very smart, and then he was like, look at him. And I'm like, yeah, look at him. And then that's it.
Yeah.
And it's just his family is like it's just nice, but it's just this kind of pressures that you have. And I'm not shitting on all of this stuff. It's good, but it's just too much. Gets too much sometimes.
Yeah,
there is no balance. There is no balance to it.
Definitely.
And it's just it's like this, and then that's how I grew up, and just playing cricket whenever I would get the chance, and just studying mostly. And watching a lot of movies growing up, and to me movies were the escape, because I would look at the movies and people are doing stuff, and especially American like Hollywood movies, and that, to me for me that was the escape. Like, okay. And I just told myself that I'm never gonna go anywhere. I just told myself at one point, I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. So I'm just like, I'll stay here. So just that for me, like movies were so, that's why I've seen a lot of movies. So that was the thing, yeah.
That's beautiful. At what point do you think it like clicked for you where you said, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. This is not the life that I want to live?
I think it happened when I went to China, and I started meeting people from Europe and other places, from US and Australia and France, Sweden, and then they have different things going on. And then I remember that I was going to a trip, and I was sitting next to a Swedish guy, and he told me that when he was 17, he did like the tour in India by himself, and I was like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, when I study, like, what is wrong with you? And then I went to Philippines, and I met this girl from Norway. She was doing the scuba diving instructor course, and she was 21, 22. And then I asked her, so this is what you want to do? She was like, no, I was just sitting watching this show with my grandma, and then there was scuba diving on, and so I packed everything up and then came to Philippines. And I'm like, what is wrong with these people? I just couldn't. I'm like, what is, like, okay, they have so much, visa issues are okay, and everything is fine, and you have opportunities, and to me, I'm like, these people are living in a different world altogether. Even that point, it was 2014, 15, I still thought like, oh yeah, these people are, crazy, like they have, who's going to support the family? They don't really care.
Right.
The governments are really good. It didn't really click in. And then when I went back to Pakistan, 2016, at the end of 2016, that time I thought like, there is something is missing. It's not me. I've experienced something. It felt like I've become something different. I'm not the guy that used to live in Pakistan.
Wow.
And that at the time when I came to Pakistan, it just it bothered me so much, because now I've lived many places, met so many people. Like, I can do so many other things. Why have to be here and just follow what everyone is doing?
Wow.
And it's a very difficult decision. All your life, you're 24, 26 years, you're just you're living one thing, and then you go like, in 2 years you go like, no, I'm gonna. It was so difficult for me to say, I'm gonna. it doesn't matter if I'm teaching, I will do something. I will do something. I'll make something out of myself, but I don't have to follow the certain path. So yeah.
It's amazing. I
It's
feel
a
like
long
there's a
answer,
lot
sorry.
of no, please. I love it. It's really nice because you talk about also like that internal conflict that you feel because coming from a place where everybody has a certain way of being. It's like living in a box and then you're the only one who gets to see like a little bit outside of the box, and then you come back in and you're trying to tell everybody like, guys, there's a whole world out there. But it's very nice that you had the ability to do that. And that internal conflict though is very hard. Very, very hard, I assume.
Because all your life is one thing, and then as long as, and also I saw that as long as you're doing what your parents like they envision for me that I would be doing, everyone is happy. And then if I do something here and everyone is just not happy, and I still tell my mom like, I'm not, like when I was in Pakistan, or I would tell like, I'm not happy, and she was like, what does it mean? And I'm like, it means that I am not happy. It's like I don't understand.
Wow.
And I think one time, like I think recent, the beginning of this year, I was having a conversation with my mom, and I was saying, why don't you get it? She was talking about what will the relatives will say, or my friends will say, and the community will say things that I've been listening for all those years. And I was like, I don't care what they say, and she's like, oh, you don't understand. And I said, I'm not satisfied, I'm not happy. You want me to live a life that you want, and I'm miserable for the rest of my life, as long as you're happy and she's like, yeah. I'm like, wow, wonderful answer, Mom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, good. And she's like, no, you just do whatever. I'm like, what's with this obsession,
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand this. Like, your son is going to be miserable for the rest of his life. And you're saying like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
You will be okay. I'm like,
yeah. That hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts
like,
a lot.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? But yeah, I understand. She's from different generation. She did her best. It's also it's very difficult for her also to be, something different,
Yeah,
so.
just as hard as it was for you to kind of get out of that after so many years. She's even older, so it's even more ingrained. Yeah, I think it's kind of important for us to remember, because I feel like even as growing up, like all these generations, we have this thing of wanting to like rebel against our parents, or just kind of be like, wait, I don't want what you guys want from me. And it's very hard, because on one side we battle with wanting to please them, but then on the other side it's like, wait, I need to be happy on my own, not because of you. And I think one of the things I know I've like struggled with a lot is kind of like accepting that my parents have their own way of being and their own way of seeing things, and understanding, well, it's not necessarily that they're wrong or whatever, but they're doing the best with the tools that they have, with what they know and all those things. But it's very difficult.
You want them to be obviously be happy,
And be proud of you and support you.
You can understand that it's a different, and I would be, it's like if I would meet like other people from different countries, and they are so close to their dads and moms, and I used to be close to my mom, but not anymore, but never was close to my dad. And then people have like, some people have like close friendship with their dads. I didn't have it, but so I was like, and I it's not that my dad did something wrong. He's great, he's amazing, but it's just the barrier. It's just always felt it was a barrier, so we just stayed apart. Like for me to call my dad and say to him that I love you, it's the most difficult thing ever. It would be impossible for me to do that. I don't know why it should not be like this, but it is.
No, I don't blame you. I definitely think it's very justifiable, and it's hard to kind of like rebuild those connections when they have such a drastic way of seeing life. But I'm happy you got out of that, and I'm happy, you know, you were able to like see outside of what they put there for you. But I'm sure it was very, very hard and very confusing at a lot of times.
Yeah, it still is.
Yeah,
it
still is.
It keeps on going, yeah.
Yeah, never stops.
It's constant thing, you know, because you think like, oh, something is happening, and back home, and then you cannot do anything, and you feel like, you know. Yeah.
When's the last time you went back to Pakistan?
5 years ago, 6 years ago. 2018, yeah.
Do you have like currently any like wants to go back?
Yeah, I wanna go back and, you know, see my sister, son, and you know.
I was gonna ask, do you have any siblings?
Yeah, one brother, one sister.
Yeah, and where are you in the?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest, okay.
The bad one. My brother who's in the middle, he lives in Dubai.
Okay.
My sister lives in Lahore. Another city. She got married. And she went to Lahore. Yeah. So she had a son.
Yeah.
And I haven't met.
Are you considered like the rebellious of the three? Like the more like crazy?
I was I think I was taking the first position, but then my sister jumped in. And she challenged my throne. But she wanted. It's not that crazy. For you guys it might be crazy. For me it was not crazy. That's not a normal thing in Pakistan. She wanted to get married to a guy that she likes. And that's just a big deal. And that was a big deal, and like my mom was saying that, oh, what do you mean? You like a guy? And she said like, yeah, I like this guy, and it was quite a struggle for her. Yeah. For like I think 3-4 years. Then finally she got married to the guy. Now now everything is okay. Before my mom just had like, you know, created this, you know, I don't know, this mess, and she just and because I'm not so close with my sister, my brother, and then I was in China, and my sister called me out of the blue. Imagine you're not talking. And she called me. She's like, I want to talk to you. I'm like, oh damn, what happened? And she said, you know, very reluctantly, very scared that she likes a guy. And because when she told my mom said to her that if you're gonna mention this to your brother, he's a hot-headed. Because when I was younger, I was very young. So he's a hot-headed. He's gonna kill the guy. You know, this is that, and don't tell him like at all. But somehow, like, she told me, and I was like, yeah, cool, you know. And she's like, you're not angry. I'm like, why would I be angry? Yeah. It's you like the guy, you know. Right. So you have to do the stuff. And she was so surprised because there was no communication before, so she didn't know me. So, and I was chill with it, and I said, yeah, sure, you know. And then I talked with the guy. The guy seemed nice. I met the guy when I went back to Pakistan. And then I told my parents, and my mom was like, oh yeah, obviously you're going to support her. Obviously, you know, you. And I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with you? You know, oh no, this is because not from the family, and we don't know them. I'm like, yeah, so what? You know, who cares? And then I went to China, and then everything, she would go through, like, they would, my mom would say something to the guy's parents, and then it would issue, she would call me, and then I would try to call my parents, my mom, and then I would kind of yell at them, and then they would not listen to me, and they would just like all the time yelling at my sister, and it was just a mess. At the end, my dad somehow got some confidence to step up, and then he said, my mom said she will not attend the wedding. So my dad said, okay, it's fine, whatever, don't attend it. And it's just, just those. Have you seen those Bollywood movies? Those Bollywood movies, there's a mom who's always emotionally blackmailing everyone. That's most of the moms, and that's my mom.
Oh my god.
And she's nice, I love her, but this is how most of the moms are. Just like, they start crying, and then they make you feel bad to to do what they want you to do.
Yeah.
And at the end you go like, oh, you know,
okay,
and something goes bad. It's like,
Uh-huh.
and it's just so yeah, and then eventually, like at the wedding, obviously she came. You know, it was fine. Now everything's okay. Now now she loves the
the
everything.
guy.
Like, what was the fuss about for nothing?
Right.
For nothing. It's just how it is.
In Pakistan, it's usually arranged marriage.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, I think because parents want their kids to just follow, like, you know, I picked this girl for you or pick this guy for you, and you know you should, and good family, and you know, between families, and you don't know, it's what about love, you know, well, eventually you'll fall in love, who cares, and you know, it's just, that's how it is. And obviously if you don't follow what the parents are saying, then it's like blasphemy. So yeah. So, yeah.
It's crazy. It's really hard. I know, I'm sure it's very hard to come from that culture, you know, but at the same time you learn so much about yourself and being able to like break out of it. Yeah, very difficult.
I see the good side. Because I've lived in like three cultures now. I see the good side, but the problem happens when they go to extremes. There is no balance.
So you're saying in the beginning there's no balance.
There is no balance. When any culture like goes to extremes, and then everything falls apart. Yeah, there is no balance between.
Yeah.
Like that's a problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Something for that. Let's see. So I guess we'll close it out because my thing is recording. The limit is limiting as well.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? How do you feel now that we talked? These are, you know, of course we had like talking about just certain things. Bring out certain things. So is there anything that you kind of like think now, or that you're gonna like be reflecting on about your own personal life, or you're like, oh, this was a good, you know, recap of my life?
Yeah, I would say a good recap of my life was just, you know, I cannot really say much. It's just, it's how do I feel is things happen, you learn from those things, and then you move forward, and experiences make you, and it's also like holding, I don't hold any grudges towards anyone. It's just, you know, how they were supposed to, you know, my parents were they knew in their minds that was the best thing. Okay, but I don't blame them. I had a good childhood, and other things that I've experienced, you know, it's fine. And that's, if you go through some hardships, if you don't go through hardships, how would you, you know, become better?
Exactly.
If there is no pressure on you, you have to have a bit of pressure to, you know, to be better. Because if you're just like living like a very chill life, I don't think so that you're gonna move forward. You need some pressure on you to, you know. Like I use this gym analogy. Like when you're working out, you're putting pressure on your muscles, and that's how they grow. That's how life is. So yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for having this conversation with me. For real, thank you. I really enjoy it, and hopefully this is like the start of, I don't know, just like the way this podcast works. Like I wanted it to just be me learning from people, you know? Because even in this, you know, I don't know if it helped you much, but it helped me because I learned a lot from you and like from your experience and being able to like apply certain things to my personal life. So yeah, I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool. Thank you, Hassan.